Okay, so I've had the iPhone 15 Pro Max for almost a year, and I thought it would be fun to give my final verdict on my entire experience in this video. So we'll be talking about how it's held up, the camera system, biggest surprises, if you should buy this phone at this time of year, and a quick chat discussing rumors, looking ahead to the new iPhone 16 coming out in September. Starting off with how the phone has held up, the titanium build of this phone was a great design direction from Apple. My iPhone has very minimal wear and tear. I haven't broken it at all this year, yet I've dropped it many times without a case, so I've been very lucky. I've also never been a big phone guy, like ever, but feeling how much lighter the 15 Pro Max is this time around, it made me jump ship, and I haven't looked back since. I've gotten to experience the benefits of going larger, such as vastly better battery life. I literally have no battery anxiety at all with this phone. It lasts an entire day and then some. Here's a snippet of my current battery health, which is at 92%, which I don't think is pretty bad for a whole year. However, I have heard people who have owned the regular 15 Pro that they haven't had the best battery life. So that is sort of some disappointing news to hear, and that definitely does make me a little bit wary about going with smaller phones nowadays. In terms of performance, we got a brand new A17 Pro chip in here, and this phone has felt very fast all the time. To be honest, I say this every year, iPhones never feel slow. For example, with the new iOS 18 public beta that just came out, I've been able to make use of things like game mode, where it prioritizes the phone's CPU and GPU to deliver a more consistent performance experience. When playing Warzone with the Razer Kishi Ultra controller, things have felt very smooth at the highest settings, very consistent frame rates, fluid controls, it just works great. As someone who dailies both an Android and an iPhone, I hate to say this, as this isn't meant to be biased. I almost wanted to remove this section of the video, but it's been my experience. It's my truth so far, and it's that apps on iOS generally run better than on Android. It's rarely the other way around. For example, Gmail just randomly crashes on me all the time when I'm sending off an email on my Android phone. 1Password is a little bit finicky on Android, but it works flawlessly on Apple iPhones. It's just a lot of tiny things that I've noticed that are kind of annoying that only reveal itself to me more because I'm switching between Android and iPhone all the time. But anyway, I digress. Now I want to talk about the cameras, as the iPhone 15 Pro Max has blown me away so many times with this new system, more so on the video side, which you'll see soon. But before we continue, I want to thank Anker for partnering with me on this video and sending over their Anker Prime 250 watt power charging station. It's an all-in-one solution for powering multiple devices efficiently. With 6 ports, it's designed for anyone who needs to keep their devices powered at home, in the office, or on the go. It delivers fast charging, bringing a 16-inch MacBook Pro to 50% in just 25 minutes, and features an LCD display that gives you real-time updates on your power status. Plus, it intelligently manages energy distribution, ensuring each device gets the optimal power without any manual adjustments. Paired with the Anker Prime USB-C cable, you're set for reliable, high-speed performance in any environment of up to 240 watts. This cable is built to last, capable of withstanding extreme conditions while supporting all of your USB-C devices. So if you're somebody that's looking to simplify your setup and ensure you are always powered up, the Anker Prime charging station and the USB-C cable are excellent choices. Click the link down below to purchase yours today. Okay, so let's talk about these cameras. Starting first with pictures, then video. The new sensor in the iPhone has allowed me to take some of the best shots I've ever taken on a phone. Seriously, this camera looks fantastic. It's so consistent, especially when shooting in RAW. You really get to maximize what's possible with this phone. I've also fallen in love with the 5x telephoto lens. I'm telling you, if you want to impress people with iPhone photos, use this lens, as the way it makes subjects look is really impressive. It gives a new type of feeling to your photos that you just don't get from wider lens options. And of course, being able to add portrait mode after you take a standard 24 megapixel image is awesome. It gives the flexibility of not needing to worry about whether to shoot in standard or portrait in the moment. In terms of video, my goodness, it is great on iPhone. I feel like I don't need to give a speech or really talk about why it's great. Like, you can just see the results for yourself. If you've been following the channel for a while, you actually might have seen some of these clips in the past, and that's because they still blow me away even months after shooting these. I can't believe that I can shoot raw ProRes video on an iPhone and color it the way that I do to make it look very professional, to the point that you will have a hard time knowing if I shot on an iPhone or on a regular camera. I really hope that on the Android side of things that they get something like this very soon, as it does make it very hard for me to want to use those camera systems over the iPhone for somebody like me, specifically for video. We also saw Apple come out with the Final Cut Pro camera app this year, and that has given us video creators even more control over the footage shot off of iPhone, which is awesome, as it's free and it's the first of its kind from Apple, like ever, as in the past we've always had to resort to paying for third-party options to get this level of control of the video camera. Okay, so let's move on to a fun game. We got some good news and some bad news, as I'm gonna share my biggest positive surprises from my iPhone 15 Pro Max experience, as well as my disappointments. And because this video has been super positive up until this point, let's balance it out and start with the bad. The stuff that continues to disappoint me with iPhone. For one, my iPhone gets hot too quickly outside, and the screen dims, and I can't make much use of the super bright display, as half the time it won't let me because the phone is literally too hot. This happens a lot when I'm also driving with GPS on the iPhone, which is kind of annoying. Or the fact that I do appreciate the effort of them improving the ultra-wide lens this year. It has gotten better, but it's still something I avoid in low light settings, as it's just not quite there yet for my level of quality that I like in my photos. I'd also love to see Apple add more pro controls to the photo camera, like let us control ISO, shutter speed, all that stuff, as I love these features on Samsung, for example. Or this is a weird new development for me, but I find myself not using the action button as much as I want to. I had to really think about why. I think it's because it's not super convenient to press on the Pro Max. You do need to do some hand gymnastics at times, so I wonder if that's why this habit of using what is a really cool and convenient button not stick very well for me personally. Like I find I don't use it as much as I want to. And that's about it for the stuff that I don't really like about this iPhone. I mean, there's just not a lot there. I would have mentioned Siri needing a serious overhaul, but Apple is actually doing that with Apple Intelligence. As for some of the surprises I've experienced, iOS 18 public beta was a big one. I love the changes to the new home screen. It is so customizable now. I love the new control center, being able to add any kind of functionality at my fingertips that is personalized to me. The new Photos app did get an overhaul that I actually grew to appreciate over time, or also the fact that iMessage has a ton of fun little quirky features that I can express myself with more, and that it now supports RCS, which allows for iMessage-like instant messaging between iPhones and Androids. Like, finally. Thank you. If you want to know more about my thoughts of iOS 18, I did make a full video that I'll link above for you to check out, but overall, iOS 18 was a huge positive surprise. It actually made my iPhone even better than it already was this year. So the question I always get at this time of year is whether or not people should buy the current iPhone out or wait until the new one in September. I'll admit, it's a hard thing to answer at times because I have no idea what is coming for iPhone 16 yet. So if we look at what history has shown us, the generation of one iPhone to the next isn't going to be an earth-shattering difference most of the time, unless Apple has a huge redesign and big features planned that are exclusive to iPhone 16, which I'm honestly a little bit doubtful for. In terms of the rumors that I have seen so far about the new iPhone 16, I'm seeing new colors to come, a new refreshed capture button on the right side of the iPhone, while still keeping the action button on the left, Wi-Fi 7 for faster speeds, improvements to the thermal design to hopefully solve the overheating issues a bit, improvements to the camera quality, potentially a better display. Like, you get the point. Like, the iPhone 16, it's gonna be a better phone, no doubt about that, but I feel like for most people, while all of this stuff sounds great, a lot of what iPhone 15 Pro Max brings already is already really good for a lot of you. And I'd say the most important thing is that the 15 Pro and Pro Max support Apple Intelligence when it comes out, which it does. So that in itself allows me to comfortably recommend this phone if anyone needs something now, or just something on discount instead of the latest iPhones, as I'd bet you won't be missing out on too much, considering the most exciting thing to come is AI on iPhone, in my opinion, and you will still be getting that with the 15 Pro or Pro Max. Switching gears to Samsung phones for a second, if you guys are interested in learning more about the new Z Flip 6 phone from Samsung, it is an awesome review video that I just posted. You can click right here to watch it now.